Yeah, my name's Jamie and I'm an addict. The heart starts racing when you start reading them steps. My hands have gone clammy. And I sit here and I'm just like, oh. And like I've said to you tonight, a lot of you, I feel like a ball of emotion today. I'm coming up to six years ago today. I wrote my mum a suicide note and I was gone. And then today I'm sat here 6 years clean tomorrow and I'm getting married. So I just feel emotional. Like I'm driving here and I think, what do I do to deserve this? Why do I deserve this? You see people struggling out there and then I think, do you know what? When I sat in that room that day and I kept doing it, I was at rock bottom constantly, writing these notes, just wanting to live a normal life, but didn't know how to get there. All I wanted was the life I've got today. I just didn't know how to get there, and working the 12 steps, being around you fellows, getting a sponsor, that life has slowly become true and more. So today I feel emotional in a good way, and it's such a beautiful thing, and I can embrace that emotion now, where before I couldn't control my emotional nature. That's why I used technique, and I think it'd be a good excuse for me to go and have a go today for tomorrow. But like I've said, like to people said, why are you sharing the night before? My partner said, why are you sharing the night before? My mum and dad said, why are you sharing the night before? Because I would have nothing if I didn't do this. I had nothing because I didn't do this. So the only reason I'm getting married tomorrow is because I've done this. So for me to come here for an hour tonight is nothing for what this has given me. So yeah, growing up, I was the youngest of all three. Spoiled little brat, ungrateful to the core, selfish. Nothing was ever good enough. Whatever you had was shit because I didn't have it. And I grew up with a fantastic life. Like you come in here and everyone has their own stories. I didn't have no trauma. I didn't have nothing to come in there and put a finger on saying, oh, I used because of this. I know why I'm an addict. I know what I suffer with, but I needed something to try and blame, and I had nothing to blame. I just got this illness, and I always remember when I was little, my dad and my mum, I used to do motocross, and I always share it. That was like my obsession for years. Till I was about 14, I used to sit there making motorbike noises, playing in the mud, in the bath. I'd be making jumps in the bubbles. At 14, yeah. Yeah. I loved it, and that was my obsession. And when I was on that bike, my mind was quiet. I would be on that bike. Every weekend I would be away, and I could just be with myself. And that was the only time that I could always say I'd be with myself. I was just needed that buzz constantly. And I always remember my dad brought me. It was in 2005. They worked their asses off to get me these bikes. Like my brother and sister got fuck all compared to me. Sorry for swearing. And we went to Bristol to pick up this bike, and it was a 2004 model in 2005. It had a blue frame instead of a black frame, and the whole way home I cried, and it wasn't good enough because it wasn't the newest one. And when you look back now, all of that is I wanted the newest one so people could say, look at Jamie, he's got that new bike. And I could never appreciate the moment of what I've actually got, and I never knew that growing up. I was just ungrateful to the core, and going through school, I'm not very big now, so imagine me at school. The backpack was bigger than me, my trousers were pulled up here, and the only way I thought that I could get people to like me was to be a bully. And like they always say, the loudest person in the room is the weakest, and I truly believe I was the weakest person because I was so fearful of what people thought of me. I'd bully you, try and make you laugh at other people's expenses, and then when it come back to Jamie, and I get told off, I would just cry, and I'd show the real Jamie, and I'd be in such fear around it all that was my only emotion, was crying. It was just for you to get to like me, and that went on all through my teenage years. I smoked weed, and with people, the maddest thing is, there's a lady not in this room tonight, but there's a lady that was my best mate's mum who I watched relapse. she was in recovery and I watched Relapse. She used to sell me weed. We used to get on it with her. And I never knew she was in recovery until we come into recovery 6 years ago. Her sobriety date was the same day as mine. So that whole journey of me drinking drugs was her journey on a relapse. Like, it was mental. But like, these kids, like, and what I was trying to get at, these kids I'm hanging around with, their parents were in recovery and they're relapsing. They're living in a madness. I actually watched my mates living with their parents in the madness, and I had a beautiful life, and all I wanted to do was be able to smoke weed with my mum. Like, I thought that was like what life was about, and these kids were searching for love. I look at them now and it's like, one of them's growing up, he's been a scouser, he's been a mank, he's been all these different kids, but really he's just from Blandford. He's never had any love, he's never had any person show him how to be loved, and I had that, and I just didn't know I had that, and couldn't ever accept that I had that. So all my life I always just grew up to try and be something that I wasn't really, and just couldn't really appreciate what I had. And looking back now, it's just like I say, I can embrace that now and look back, and I had a beautiful life. There was no reason for me. I just absolutely loved sniffing cocaine, and when I started I couldn't stop. It took the edge off everything for me. It made me bigger, it made me stronger, it made me funnier. It made me be able to talk to you. It done everything it said until it didn't, until when I used to take that cocaine, it wasn't any substance, that's a lie, I'm trying to make out like I'd done everything. I didn't. I love sniffing cocaine and ketamine. It's like, and trying to make out I took everything to make myself fit in, and I didn't. It took that edge off it. It shut my head up for those minutes until it didn't. And what it done to me was, it took me to a room on my own, gambling, watching funny videos, writing suicide notes, taking tablets and wanting to die. But at the beginning, when I took that first line, it made me feel big, it made me feel, and I always wanted that feeling, and it never come again. And the maddest thing is, like, now I know what we suffer with, and it's an illness in my mind. I never knew why when I stopped I couldn't stay stopped. I used to go, for me, I could stop, and I can happily say I could stop. I'd have a reason to stop. I would go and do a half marathon, for instance, and I'd run that half marathon. I wouldn't use for 6 weeks. I'd get to the end of that half marathon and it was bang. As soon as it's done, I'm back in that cycle, and I couldn't break it again. And I'm constantly doing that. And it'd just be weird things like that. And one year I got taken on a 3-week cruise around the Caribbean, not to drink or use. And I sat on a cruise ship for 3 weeks drinking and didn't know what anxiety was until that. Fucking hell. And I'm sat in a boat. I think I'm James Bond in the casino, drinking strawberry daiquiris with money that I didn't have, telling people that my credit card didn't work because we're in a foreign country, but I just didn't have no money. Like, I come off that cruise ship with a massive bar bill just to impress people that didn't care about me. And that's what it was like for me. I was just in this mad cycle, and it kept getting worse. Consequences kept getting worse. I was doing things with people that I didn't want to be doing. I was doing things to myself I didn't want to be doing. All these things that I grew up with, these morals and all these things that my parents had taught me, to be honest, to be loving, to be caring, to be polite, and all these morals just went out the window. And things like, when I got clean and I've made amends to my dad, it wasn't the me using, it was the fact that I made a sane man feel that he was going insane. He would go and take £20 out, or he'd take £100 out the cash point, and I'd go in his wallet, take the 20 quid out of his wallet, and he'd come in and he would go, "You've taken 20 quid. I'd say, "Who the fuck do you think you are blaming me for taking 20 quid? I was like, if I want 20 quid, I'd ask you for 20 quid. And they would believe it. And you'd be like, I've just made a sane man feel that the cash point keeps nicking 20 quid off him. And that's the sort of stuff that it made me do. I know we all have different journeys and you've done different things, but that's the sort of thing that used to eat me up inside to make me feel like a shitbag. That was how I felt. I felt like a scumbag. I'm doing this. These people are feeding me. they've honed me, and I've got no morals. I'm robbing off them, and that's the sort of stuff that kept me out there, because I just couldn't get honest with myself around it. And 6 years ago today, I'm sat there. Gambling was part of my story. I've won, lost loads of money, blah de blah. I'm sat there, and the rock bottoms kept getting worse. I'm not going to do it tomorrow. That kept coming, and I always said I wasn't a blackout drinker, and I used to drink to sleep. It's nuts, isn't it? Yeah, it's nuts. So yeah, 6 years ago, it's like, and I feel emotional thinking about it, because like the pain and suffering that we've gone through, and the pain and suffering that you put other people through, it's fucking horrible. Like when you go back and I've made amends to my family, but the feeling I get today when it comes up to an anniversary, I feel that pain, I feel that suffering. I've forgiven myself, but I still feel it, because it was deep. And we're sat there. And the maddest thing is, I'm sat there, my mum's found me, I wrote this note, I'm going, and she's walked out. There's someone watching over me, and that's why I believe it, because I was gone. And she's walked out at 3 a.m. and found me leaving the house, and it's like, yeah. Didn't even have any petrol in the car, so I don't know where I was going, like, she's fucking deluded. But I was gone in my head, and I wanted out. I needed to get out, I didn't know a way out, and she's phoning around the rehabs in Bournemouth. I couldn't go to rehab in Bournemouth because people might know me, so we went to Essex. And the maddest thing is, it's like I'm sat there, the pain and suffering, I'm crying, I'm done, I want to die. She's got me into rehab, she's gone to work, and my dad had gone to work. And then that morning I'm in the car, and I've drove to my mates, and I'm sat on the phone to the rehab sniffing lines off the back of my phone. I'm so powerless over it. I forgot the pain and suffering from about 3 hours ago. It's brutal what it does to me, and I'm sat there, and I'm at my mate's house listening to Amy Winehouse. My mum's trying to send me to rehab, and I'm saying no. With the egos come back, like, straight away, and it's nuts, isn't it? When you look back, like, I think, and I sit there, I laugh about it now, but like, you sat there and you're doing things like that, like, I couldn't remember from a couple hours ago that I wanted to die. That's how powerful it is for me, that it made me forget that within a few hours. And I ended up in a treatment centre, done 28 days in a treatment centre. I've never laughed so much. And do you know what? I didn't learn anything in there, to be honest. All it done was it separated me from society for 28 days. They told me to read the big book. I didn't read the big book, but one day this bloke come in, I think he was about 15 years clean, and he sat us all down. There was 23 of us. He said 2 of you would be dead in 18 months. I thought, shit. And I looked around the room, and I was counting the people out. You'll be gone, you'll be gone. I just wanted to make sure that I wasn't going to be one of them people that was going to die, to be honest. And I didn't know what I was going to do. I come out, and I had 2 options when I got out. I had sobriety, so I'm clean, and my mind's clean. I had 2 options. I've got a bit of power now. I've got a choice whether I go one way. The obsession's gone, but I know it's coming back. So I go to a meeting on a Friday night, and a bloke walked up to me, and he was like, "You're a newcomer," and I said, "No, I'm not." He says, "Yeah, you are." I said, "No, I'm not. I'm 30 days. I'm not new." And he was like, "Well, you're a newcomer," and I just couldn't grasp the fact that 30 days was new. I just thought, it's nuts. Jamie was there on my first meeting. I always remember that meeting, and they looked round at me, and I get fearful now around sharing from the room, but when I was there, I just always remember saying to myself, because when we was in treatment, they passed this big book round in an AA meeting, and I tried reading a line out of the big book, and it felt like the big book swallowed me up. Everyone was looking at me, they weren't. I was so important in that meeting that I couldn't do it. And for me, I said to myself, I need to overcome this fear. I need to be able to share. I need to be able to express how I feel, because I've been so stuck in myself for years that I need to be able to talk. And I just said I'm going to share it. At every meeting, it was probably bollocks, but for the first year, I shared, and I made sure I shared. I went to 6 meetings a week, and I got involved. I got sponsored. I got a sponsor when I landed in Bournemouth. I got commitments. I've got service commitments, and I've done what I got told to do. And I've managed to stay here for 6 years, and I pinch myself every day and think to myself, like I said on the way, I think, why do I deserve this? But I fucking do deserve this. I've worked hard to be where I am today. Do you know what I mean? I've humbled myself to realise that I'm not the best thing on planet Earth. Planet Earth doesn't owe me anything. I'm just another human being. I'm the same as everyone else. And this program's taught me a lot. It's taught me how to love. It's taught me how to be loved. It's taught me how to care for people and to be cared for. This might sound a bit rude, but I took women as objects when I thought women were objects when I was out there. That I got treated bad. I treated them bad. They weren't. I just wasn't. Yeah, I don't know how to say it, and if that come out wrong, but this program's taught me to love. And I used to do a service commitment with a lady in H&I, and it taught me that women are women and women are friends. We're not all there for one thing. We're there, we can be friends, and it taught me how to be friendly with women. It doesn't say that in the steps, but it's what it's taught me. So I like going over a few amends that I done, because for me, like I said, this program's about change, and for me, I made amends at 6 months clean with my parents. I went in, we're crying, we're hugging, whatever. Like, that weren't an amends for me. That was about me just saying I'd done it. And it got to about 2 or 3 years clean. And I sat down, they come to our flat, I cooked them dinner, and it just felt right. Something was with me. I felt relaxed. And I sat there and I said, look, here's your time to talk to me. I'm a few years in now. Don't be scared to talk to me. I want to know how you felt. And my dad's a hard man with emotion, and he walked out the room crying. He come back in and he said, we haven't spoke about it for 3 years. It's been eating me up. And we spoke about it. And it just summed it up for me that I could be here for 3 years or however many years, and these people still suffer. This isn't just about change for us because I've been here doing this program for 3 years, that everything in the world changes for me. It doesn't. It takes time. People take time to heal, and I learned that. And another thing for me that was quite prominent, that this program is about change for everyone, is that I got to a year clean, and I've shared it before. It's my partner who I'm getting married to tomorrow. She's put banners out, balloons out. We've got barbecue going, cards, I'm buzzing. And then the one person I wanted to get a 1 year card off was my parents, and they didn't get me one. And it ate me up, and it just proved to me that living a normal life for a year is fuck all to them. Why should I get a card for living a normal life for a year? It's not. That summed up my recovery, and that made me realise that this is about continuously changing, continuously enlarging on my spiritual life. I need to continuously change. I can't stay stagnant within life, and what it's given me is a beautiful wife tomorrow that I know how to love and care for. She's given me 2 beautiful kids that I never dreamt of ever having. I've started my own business because I'm a trusted person in society now. I can go into people's homes without fucking nicking something out their house. I can speak to you without wanting something. It's just I've changed. I've changed, and tomorrow is such a beautiful day for me. I've got people that are coming from recovery. I've got people that have seen me using. And some people might not want to get married, but when I was in that room wanting to die, not knowing a way out, this was a dream for me, and I'm living in a dream because of the 12 steps, and I'll leave it there. Thank you.